Good afternoon mga ka-HR. A wonderful afternoon na medyo maulan. Dito po sa aking kinaroroonan ngayong hapon na to. Talaga naman po ang ulan medyo hindi nakikisama sa akin. But I'm hoping maging okay ang ating webinar today dahil syempre it's our second week for our back-to-back HRE knowledge with, syempre, with our speaker this afternoon na talaga namang bibigyan tayo ng bonggang-bongga. O diba? Sa pangalan pa lang, bonggang-bonggang learning this afternoon. Yan. Handa na ba ang lahat for the second week ng HRE Knowledge Back-to-Back Learning Series? Naku, medyo na-starstruck kami last week. Tama ba, Ma'am Nomi?
Yes, no? Ang dami nating participants last week, no? So we hope na ganun pa rin. Kadami ang ating mga participants.
Yes. Ang dami nating natutunan last week. Talaga naman kung paano ba natin siya mas mapapaganda ang ating health and work safety. And syempre, para mas mapadali o mas maingganyo ng ating mga ka-HR dyan sa Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon. Ang ating HRE knowledge ngayon, I'll share my screen. Wow. Okay. Ano nga po ba ang HR Calabarzon? Ang HR Calabarzon is a registered non-profit organization which provide virtual and face-to-face learning to all HR practitioner and enthusiasts in Calabarzon, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon. But wait! Hindi lang tayo within Calabarzon dahil hindi lang Region 4 ang nagmamahal sa HR Calabarzon. We also have HR and business partner and HR enthusiasts from NCR, North Luzon, South Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, at syempre meron din tayong mga ka-HR na patuloy na sumusubaybay sa atin. From India, from Taiwan, from Hong Kong, from Singapore, at saka from Japan. Namimiss ko na nga ang ating ka-HR sa Japan. And of course, this afternoon, makakasama natin ang ating co-founder, Miss Jorina Caparal. Ma'am Jorina?
Hello, good afternoon mga ka-HR. Kamusta naman kayong lahat? At syempre, kamusta naman Ma'am Neddy? Of course, we are all excited to start this session agad-agad. And for that, ang ating general reminders during the HRE Knowledge webinar ay unang-una sa lahat, the Zoom meeting room will open 15 minutes early at 12:45 p.m. Make sure natin na ang ating video ay nakabukas at ang ating audio ay nakamute. Ang ating mga katanungan ay pwedeng ilagay sa ating chat box o kaya sa ating Facebook live post. At syempre, we request your full attention at kooperasyon para mas ma-maximize pa natin lalo ang ating learning throughout the entire session. And of course, libre lang ang webinar na ito. As long as walang certificate na ire-request, libre ito. And of course, if you pay 100 pesos, we will issue you 2 e-certificates for the 2 webinars for today's session. And of course, ano nga ba ang mga frequently asked questions natin dito sa HRE Knowledge seminars natin or webinars? Ano nga ba ang HRE Knowledge? Tanong nila. This is a webinar created for the sole purpose of learning for HR practitioners and enthusiasts alike, even outside of HR Calabarzon. Ngayon, do you require payment to attend? Tanong nila. Of course, we do not require payment for your attendance, but we do require a minimal fee of 100 pesos to issue an e-certificate signed by us. So, ang binabayaran mo lang is ang ating e-certificate, but the learning is absolutely free. Ngayon, where can I find replays? Tanungan nila. Pwede mong hanapin ang ating mga replays through our Facebook page and occasionally, sometimes nag-upload din kami sa aming YouTube account.
Yes,
of course. Yes, let's go to Miss Nomi para sa ating sa pagpapatuloy sa mga frequently asked questions.
Ayan. So, also, tinatanong ng ating mga participants, no, ayan, for participants who will get our e-certificates, please ensure that the Google form is complete and accurately filled up with the following important informations. Ayan, full name for e-certificate. Ito po ang susundin namin na ilalagay sa e-certificate na ibibigay po namin sa inyo. So make sure po, no, na kung ano yung binigay ninyo na detalye sa amin, full name nyo, yun po yung naka-indicate sa e-certificate. Also, your email address para at least masend namin sa inyo yung e-certificate. And please do make sure po, no, napansin po namin may mga naglalagay ng kanilang contact number. Kung maaari po na ang ilagay po natin is yung reference number and proof of payment. Paki-attach po ang ating proof of payment. Note, links are available through FB group, ayan, HR Calabarzon group, FB page, FB live chat, and Zoom chat box. Ayan, so isasend po namin sa ating chat box. Makikita po natin lahat. Ayan, and number 4 po, the minimal fee of 100 peso is good for 2 webinars. Since we are attending 2 webinars every Saturday. And also, payment is valid until Wednesday po, next week after this webinar. So, kung gusto niyo pong mag-avail ng ating e-certificate, then you can pay, you can still have the e-certificate until Wednesday po. Ayan, Miss Neddy.
Why do we have to pay a minimal fee of 100 pesos? The 100 pesos minimal fee is to sustain our expenses for our monthly subscription for the Zoom postpaid account used to provide free HR e-knowledge webinar every week. Kagaya ng sabi ni Ma'am Zulina kanina, yes, our webinar is free. Sa lahat po ng attendee, free po ito via Facebook, via Zoom. Kaya lahat po ng mga ka-Facebook natin dyan, join na po kayo sa Zoom today because we can accommodate 500 participants this afternoon. For GCash payments, it's you can scan the QR code that is 091-9009-6339. For Union Bank, you can scan the QR code. The account number is 1098-6975-7404. Ma'am Jolina?
And of course, ito ang ating attendance link for today's afternoon session of our back-to-back learning series. Make sure na iscan po natin ang ating QR code at kung hindi, maaari din itong makuha sa ating Zoom chat box or Facebook live post. And of course, thank you to the following sponsors of this back-to-back learning session. Unang-una sa lahat, Wellness, Health, and Total Rewards Insurance Consultants. They provide HMO, medical insurance, group life insurance, personal accident insurance, executive checkup, retirement plans, clinic management, burial services, and non-life insurance. And of course, the HMO partners of our sponsor are these. You can go ahead and screenshot just for reference. And also the life insurance partners that we have, you can go ahead and screenshot once you are interested in inquiring for more. And our non-life insurance partners. Now, for quotation requests, product presentation, and inquiries, you may contact their employee benefit consultants. Or you can also email them at eb@wellnesshealthandtotalrewards.com. And here below, you can go ahead and screenshot so that you can directly ask them your inquiries and your questions. These are the contact people you can go ahead and message.
And of course, we are very thankful to our PC Works Infinite Possibilities, our one of the sponsors. Since our first HRE knowledge, talaga namang sinusuportahan tayo ng PC Works. So if you have requirements for computer or any gadget in the school, in school or in office, please do contact PC Work Infinite Possibilities. Their contact details are here at ang kanilang main office or head office ay sa Concepcion, Cubao, Immaculate Concepcion, Cubao.
Arwin! Dito kasama si Sir.
We also want to thank CPHR, Certified Practitioner in Human Resources. If you are interested to be one of us, ng mga CPHR, please do message us dahil ang lahat po ng member ng HR Calabarzon will get 10% industry partner. Kung po yan para po maging kayo ng CPHR. And of course, we would like to thank MGLF Optical Clinic. Their contact number is 0945-264-8865, 0919-872-2126. Please do contact us kung kailangan niyo po ng mga requirement for optical para sa inyong APE. And of course, HR Calabarzon would like to thank Butterfly Event OPC. Get your girls ready for unlimited makeover. You can contact them through the Facebook page, Butterfly Kiddie Salon, or contact number 0936-628-6487, or email them at butterflyevents17@gmail.com. Sa lahat ng participant ng HR Calabarzon from the first back-to-back up to end o last week of August, magkakaroon po tayo ng raffle at magbibigay po ang Butterfly Events ng free hair and makeup para sa inyong birthday party, para po sa mga kids at saka kids at heart. Ayan. Ma'am Nomi?
Alam ko, excited na tayong lahat, no? Na makapag-aral ulit, maka-gain ulit ng knowledge, no? Para sa ating, for all of us. Ayan. And so with that, excited na ba tayo? Pwede pang pa-thumbs up kung excited na ang lahat. Ayan. Tignan nga natin kung excited na ba ang lahat. Ayan. Ang daming nagka-thumbs up, no? And i-introduce po natin ang ating first speaker for today. Ayan. Our first speaker is Sir Bong Aguilar. Ayan. So, more than 30 years in human resource management and administration. He has worked for the following industries: manufacturing, government, insurance, mining, hotel, restaurant, and leisure, media events, construction, and real estate, education, and retail. HR Mentoring, co-founder and former director, Quezon City, March 2017 to present. Workers in the Institute of Labor Law, Class 46, from the School of Labor and Industrial Relations, Soler of the University of the Philippines in the year 1995. Certified Security Professional, year 2017. Certified Security Management Specialist, year 2018. Member of the Philippine Society for Training and Development, PSTD, in 1990 until 2000. Auditor of the Association of Human Resource Management, Managers in the Hotel and Restaurant Industry from year 2010 to 2011. Vice President of People Management Association of the Philippines, or PMAP, Calabarzon chapter from year 1997 to 2015. Ayan, everyone, are you excited? Let us all welcome Sir Bong Aguilar.
Good afternoon, Sir Bong. Mute po kayo, sir.
Good afternoon, Sir Bong.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Medyo nagkaroon tayo ng problem, sir, sa ating area. Tama po ba? Mukhang nasa mall si sir.
Actually, nasa Animal ako. The place I was supposed to go to was under may construction, kaya ang ingay. So, I hope it will not be as noisy. So, please forgive me na nasa mall ako. Ngayon, I chose the most quiet place in the mall kung okay lang po sa inyong lahat. Yun. So good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody is ready to, should we say, share their experiences. I'm also here to learn your experiences and to learn as well. Hindi lang ako. And maraming salamat sa HR Calabarzon for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to be one of the speakers for their anniversary. Maraming salamat.
We are very grateful, sir, na natanggap nyo, na pinaunlakan nyo po ang aming imbitasyon ni Ma'am Zorina at ni Ma'am Nomi na makasama namin kayo sa aming back-to-back second anniversary learning event ng HR Calabarzon's HR e-knowledge. It's our very much pleasure na talagang makasama naman ng isang pinagkakapitagan at isa sa kilala ang pangalan sa industriya ng human resource. At syempre, guys, para sa kalaman po ng lahat, mentor ko po si Sir Bong way back to HR Mentoring 2017. O, diba? Hi kay Ma'am Jamie. Nanonood si Ma'am Jamie.
Maraming salamat, Nedy, at saka sa iyong mga co-founders and sa buong HR Calabarzon. Sige, anytime you want to start.
Ano po ba ang take-away naming mga HR this afternoon from Sir Bong Aguilar?
Actually, there are two basic takeaways. One is a historical perspective. Second is the tools that you can possibly use to effect those organizational changes, these OD changes. Some of you, baka alam nyo na to. So it's just a matter of implementation or getting the approval for implementation. And some baka bago ang terminologies na to. So we do not have time to tackle each and every methodology, but ang importante, mamulat ang mata nyo na merong ganitong tools. Parang kumbaga pumunta ka sa isang hardware, tapos naghahanap ka ng tools. Makikita mo iba pang klaseng tools na hindi mo alam gamitin. Okay lang yon. But ang importante, you went inside to the hardware, looking for something, and you're gonna ask people, and they will answer you. And you will choose the right tool at the right time. Pasensya na, malakas ang kulog dito sa Cubao. So we can start, Ma'am Nedy, with the presentation. Please share the screen.
Okay, sir. We already share your screen.
Yes. So the next slide, please. So the future of HR, events that need OD and change management. So as you grow, you change. And as you change, you grow. So good morning. As you know, in training, laging good morning, regardless of the time. Okay. Next slide, please. So there are basically 5 lessons that I want to discuss. Okay, outline natin. Lesson 1, OD and change management. Is this the same? Is it different? Lesson 2, using disaster management cycle as a guide. Number 3, using taking away from Al Gore, the inconvenient truth of the past, forgotten or never learned. Lesson 4, macro application of OD and change management, what you possibly already know. And last but not least, lesson 5, now, what will you do? Next slide, please. So possibly nakita nyo na tong ad na to ng Greenwich. So marami tayong overload favorites. So isa na doon ang pizza. So baka ang mangyari ngayon ay isang overload din sa information. So huwag kayong mag-alala dahil ang suggestion ko, just absorb. Huwag nyo munang i-overanalyze ang things. Ang importante, nakikita nyo, yung makikita nyo sa slides, and you can probably research this later on after when you have more time to study kung ano yung mga sasabihin. So in lesson 1, OD and change management, is the same, is this different? Next slide, please. So the Change management, or sometimes abbreviated as CM, is a collective term for all approaches to prepare, support, and help individuals, teams, and organizations in making organizational change. It includes methods that redirect or redefine the use of resources, business process, budget allocations, and other modes of operation that significantly change a company or the organization. Next slide, please. Organizational change management naman considers what the organization and what needs to change. Well, change management may be used solely to refer to how people and teams are affected by the organizational transition. It deals with many disciplines and behavioral and social sciences to information, technology, and business solutions. I will not focus masyado on the definition, but I'll show you a parang Venn diagram on how best to understand OD, change management, and OCM. So, mas familiar tayo sa OD. So, bullet points, it is the study implementation of practices, systems, and techniques that affect organization change. The goal is to modify the organization's performance and or culture. Typically, it is initiated by the group's stakeholders. It emerged in the 1930s from psychologists that realized that organizational structures and processes influence work behavior and motivation. Recently, OD has expanded to focus on aligning organization in the very rapidly changing and complex business environment. Key concepts include, sabi nga, organizational climate, organization culture, and strategies. Next slide, please. So, change management is the biggest of these, should we say, circles. Susunod dyan, please, is organization change management. And the smallest circle of all is when you focus and develop your OD. Kaya kadalasan sa HR, OD ang tawag for the people or the section that handles whatever OD changes that the stakeholders or the owners want to happen. By the way, if you have questions, sulat nyo lang sa chat box. And if you think I talk too fast, please just say so in the chat box so I can slow down. I have a tendency to talk fast. Yeah. And kung may gusto kayong paulit, just say so. Next slide, please. So in lesson 2, I would like to use disaster management cycle as a guide. I learned disaster management maybe from the year 1996 to the year 2005, and it helped our organization prepare for disasters. So dahil yung isang lugar ng organization namin was a country club seated at the top of a mountain, so with tendencies landslides and pati na rin ang threats of nice people around. So we had to define our risks, and the disaster management cycle was a very good guide. And I hope ma-appreciate natin din. So next slide. So ito po yung disaster management guide. So basically, it's a cycle: preparedness, response, recovery, mitigation. Next slide, please. So sa akin nga ni Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind. Ano ba gusto nyo mangyari? So, but instead of saying recovery, define your end. What end do you want to happen? So, what your organization wants to be. It's usually in your vision. It can be also in your strategic plans. Tama-tama, malapit na mag-last quarter of the year, magsisimula ng strategic business plan. Maybe this is the good time to start it. So define your end. Next. Now that you have defined your end, excuse me, instead of the word mitigation or prevention, plan it out, meaning predict what will happen. Sorry about that. Or forecast what will happen. So maraming tools for management, for business and management forecast. One is ask your marketing people of what are the marketing trends and predictions for the next year or for the next 5 years. So that will help your organization to determine if you need very significant OD interventions. Another SWOT analysis. I am sure you have heard this already. So, kung magbi-business planning kayo, maganda yan para malaman yung issue. Again, significant uh, changes rather in the business for the next year. Next, there are also tools of the top 10 business intelligence approaches. So, you might be more familiar than that. Alam ko lang din sigurado is SAP. So, I only use it lightly dahil nasa HR ako. It was used more by us. Gap analysis is also a very useful tool that anybody can use. Gap is simply where you want to go and everything else in between. So, doon mo malalaman kung ano yung kulang sa iyo by gap analysis. And nandiyan, nakasulat nga, determine your product, your place, your promotion, your people, your processes, your physical environment. So some of you may have heard about the pestle analysis, or generally it's business scanning. So business nyo kung ano yung political situation, economic situation, social situation, technological situation, environmental, and legal for the next year or so. Okay. So, may mga bagong batas na lalabas, may mga bagong libis ba na lalabas, matutuloy ba yung 14th month pay, etc. etc. Sa political, so we have a new president. Ano ba ang epekto nito? Hinahawakan niya yung Department of Agriculture. Ano ba epekto sa mga agricultural products? Tumataas ba yung presyo? Bumaba. Ayan. How does it affect your business economically as well? Ayan. Parang tahi-tahi na yan. And it affects other. Yun. Next slide, please. Another tool you can make, which is often used by risk management. So there are 5 boxes in risk management, one of which is risk avoidance, or you eliminate or avoid.
Hold lang po. Mukhang naghang po si sir.
Saving money for the day na mawawalan ka ng pera. Reduction. So, pag kumuha ka ng security guard, that is risk reduction because control risk by putting a security guard, by putting a fence, by putting the CC. Another way is risk spreading or decentralization. If you have a way to put one department in one area, another department in one area, kumbaga, not all eggs in one basket, then it means you're mitigating your risk para if something happens in one area, it will not happen in another. I have a specific sample mamaya. So I'll show you. Last or typically, kukuha ka ng insurance for the purpose. Para po may nangyari, sunog for example, lahat ng gamit na covered by insurance will be paid for later. Next slide, please. So now you have predicted what will happen, then it's time to plan or prepare. So you organize your resources while you have the time. There are budget. Huwag kayong mag-alala, i-prioritize nyo lang sa finance. Ganun lang naman lagi yun eh. You buy, you purchase, what is first needed. Building a house, hindi ka muna bibili ng bintana. Because ang bibili ilagay dun sa pundasyon, which is basically cement, dahil hindi pa kailangan yun now. So, you can schedule all the things that you need to purchase and plan. Kasama rin sa preparedness is kung paano yung i-use yung mga resources niyo. For example, kaya nga kayo nagpa-fire, nagte-training kayo kung paano magpatay ng sunog. Iniimbita niyo yung office to show you paano gumamit ng fire extinguisher, and if you're lucky enough, pati yung fire hose na paano gamitin yun dahil masyadong malakas ang pressure. Next slide, please. So, meron diyang short quiz ako gagawin. Does anybody want to guess? Pwede nyo ilagay sa chat kung nasasagot. Nagbibigay daw ng prize si Ma'am Nedy. Business company plan. Tama po yung business, tama po yung plan. Yung letter C po ang hindi po tama. Sino gusto? Business contingency plan. Contingency is a very, very near word. But usually, ang ginagawa dyan, business continuity, sabi nga ni Ma'am Jamie. Thank you very much, Ma'am Jamie. So simply, as the word say, business continuity plan, kahit ano mangyari, your company will continue regardless what happens. Yun yung pinaplano nyo. Yun ang predict nyo. Kahit anong mangyari sa company nyo, tuloy pa rin ang mangyari. And yes, Jovelyn, correct, business continuity plan. Next, please. Ano naman ang DRS? Hindi ko nilagay yung ending letter. Yung letter D, ang ending letter nun A. Ang letter R, Y uli ang dulo. Ang letter S, ang ending letter nun E. May gustong pumula sa chat box? Naku, bakit ba ako pinag-iisip ni Sir Bong? Ha? Yan, para attentive kayo. Ang hirap, sir. Sabi ni Jorina. Okay. Sirit na ba? Sabi niya, ayan, the recovery. Malapit na. Yung yes. Yung disaster, not so much. It's very specific. So, sirit na, magsabi na kayo na natin. Hala, wala nang sumasagot. Ma'am Nedy, baka nagkumalis na sila. Natakot na. Okay, sabi ni Chelo, it's called data recovery site. Simply means, although it's an IT thing, it simply means ang mangyari sa data nyo, it is found somewhere so that you can recover all the data that you need. Because lahat tayo, mga finance, mga operations, mga marketing, is data intensive. Kahit masunog pa yung buong building, yung insurance will cover that. Pero yung data nyo, once lost, it's lost. Iba yan sa mga hacking na pumapunta sa computer nyo or sa virus. Meron akong isang cute na kwento. Bagong hire ako sa kumpanya, tamang-tama, parang preparation for business planning. And nagsalita na yung IT supervisor. We were not a big company, so nakikita ko kung nasa nakalagay yung server. Obvious kasi, ang taas ng torrent ng server. Yung sabi ko, nasa nakalagay yung data pag nasunog yung server mo. Simple lang sinagot ng IT supervisor. Sir, inuuwi ko yung data. Nilalagay niya isa-isang buwan sa isang external hard drive. Ang problema, siya lang ang nakakaalam nun. Kaya tuloy, tinignan siya ng presidente. Presidente, sino nag-authorize sa'yo maglabas niyan? Eh, we have very strict rules for data, paglabas ng data. So much so na bawal. Kahit ako nga, bawal ang USB. Okay. So, actually, nabigyan ng suspension yung IT supervisor dahil doon. And of course, I did not intend that. Kaya lang, I wanted to know saan ang data recovery side. And for all enough sa inyo, alam nyo ba nagkaroon ng kudeta nung panahon ni President Cory Aquino? Alam nyo ba yun? Yung time nila Gringo Hunasan. I was working then during sa SSS. Ang data po ng SSS, ang data recovery, unfortunately, nasa National Computer Institute or nasa National Computer Center. Kaya lang yung National Computer Center was inside Camp Aguinaldo, the GHQ or the General Headquarters. Kaya yung mga IT, yung data ng buong SSS sa loob mo. Of course, it was a backup. Kaya lang, baligtad eh. Yung backup ang mawawala. Kasi data. Walang pinagkaiba yan sa inyong ginagamit na desktop or ginagamit na laptop na pag na virus ang inyong computer, meron kayong backup paano nyo i-recover lahat. Next slide. O next word. Allah. Mas mahaba na to. Yan. Ano ba yung M's of management? Pinag-aralan nyo na ba ito nung college? Ano yung unang letter M na nagtatapos sa letter R? Hindi po manager. Hindi po aandar ang kumpanya pag manager lang. Manpower. Tama po yan. Sige. Yung susunod na letter M, hindi ko matandaan. Yung susunod na lang ba, na letter M na nag-end sa S. Natandaan ko na yung M, nag-end sa E. Materials, correct. Materials kayo, papel, ballpen. Yung letter M na nag-letter end sa E, ano yun? Machines, correct. Yung letter M na nag-end sa S, ano yun? Isa pang L. Okay. Yung isang M na Y, money. Yung isa, methods, correct. Yung huling-huli, yung M na may U. Ang pinakamahirap sa lahat. Sabihin nyo kung sirot na. Yung measurement yung isa. Actually, a measurement is part of the code. Yung M na may U. Aba, ayaw pa nila, laban pa daw. Walang tip. Nag-iisip pa rin po sila, ladies and gentlemen. Ano yung M? Very good, Chelo Castro. It's with you. O, ibig sabihin, lugar. It is your work environment. It's your work environment in an office. It's your work environment in a factory. It's your work environment in the field. Yan. So, yun ang M's of management we need to consider. Next slide, please. So, sabi nga kanina, if you can't measure it, you cannot manage it. By Guru, the late Peter Drucker. So, kailangan may measurement kayo para malaman nyo how you are progressing. Next slide, please. Some of you may want to use as a tool David Ulrich's model, wherein the HR model basically isa is a business partner where The HR acts as the salesperson for the internal, external processes of HR. Or you may be the change agent, which is required for, or you can be the employee advocate, where company-wide projects that affect the changes in the corporate culture. Or where you are doing all the transactional things that need to happen. Otherwise, or you can be a combination of any of the kadalasan, sakop niya lahat yun. Next slide, please. So this is simple chart, Gantt spelled as GANTT. So some of you may be familiar with that. So yung pinaka-leftmost column is yung task, ano yung mga gagawin nyo. Tapos nagmo-move yung dates, kailan ginagawa yung anong task. It's a tool for what you will do for the next weeks, months, or years. Next slide. Some of you may want to use the tool that the Japanese developed. Plan, do, check sa continuous cycle. Planuhin nyo, gagawin nyo, i-check, evaluate nyo, i-akapan it after checking, plano ulit, etc. Next slide, please. Oh, just do it. Another is, next slide, please. Quality management system. It's about, kikita nyo sa top right agad, change management. It also includes processes and production control, design control, process management responsibility, and corrective approach and preventive actions. For companies ISO certified, you already know this. So you can use your QMS to help do all the changes that you need. Kung hindi naman kayo ISO, you can read all about it. If you want to learn more, there are some companies na they are self-learned to teach them about ISO. After self-learning, kuha lang sila ng third-party auditor. May isang company alam kung ganun dahil may friend with that and certify sila. Kailangan nyo lang ng strong will, political will. Next slide, please. Oh, we're now on lesson 3. Very good. The inconvenient truth of the past, forgotten, or was it never learned? Next slide. Next slide, please. So, tuloy-tuloy na lang. Kung sino yung nag-share, just show it. So, there was an industrial revolution. And dati, may mga hari, may mga kingdoms. Now, there were machineries. After that, the psychologists came in the business world. Si Moon, and sa England, si Kitchener, that went later to America in 1879. And psychological exam was introduced by Alfred Binet, a Frenchman, which he did in Paris. It happened in 1904. The Americans came to the Philippines in 1898 and spurred further changes in the way we do things as compared to the way we did things during the Spanish times. And if you go to UP Soler, you de los Reyes is considered the father movement, and he came to be in 1902. Then the first things we learned in college was the whole nyo pa na encounter to. I suggest you Google it. It is the study that was made under worker worker motivation, and the change management did sa things sa production. Even as simple as reducing or increasing yung sa production. Ano ang effect sa productivity? Marami kayong matututunan dito. And magugulat kayo na, ha? Yun ang naging effect ng ginawa nila. History, ah. Next slide, please. Tuloy-tuloy na rin ulit. So in 1950s, the term personal department became popular. In 1950 to 1970, large frame computers as big as your house were in banks, in companies. And in 1956, the Personal Management Association of the Philippines was born. And in 1974, Labor Code was introduced by sinong Secretary of Labor? Sige, hintayin ko na lang sa chat room. Sabihin nyo rin kung kaninong presidency yan, yung Labor Code 1974. Sabihin nyo yung Secretary of Labor, Minister time din, President ng time. In 1978, ang word star, the precursor of the word that we all use now. 19 of Unionism of the Philippines. I'm sure kilala niyo MKMD. And in 1983, lumabas na ang kaunang spreadsheet, numerical spreadsheet, or popularly branded as Lotus 123. So, walang sasagot sa Minister of Labor noong 1974? Wala. Sirit na. Iisip kaya sino yung Minister of Labor? Late President Marcos, correct, Chelo, noong 1974. So, nagkaroon tayo ng labor code under his administration. And minister during that time was yung father ni Ma'am Toots of ata or nasa OWA. And A1. Next slide, please. O, tuloy-tuloy lang din liyan. So, in 1983, the Wi-Fi that we've been using is born. The internet was born from the ARPANET that the military and the schools in the United States were using to share information became the internet, which everybody. And lucky, dahil nagkaroon ng demo ang PSTD Sports Club on how to surf the net. Started various applications that we use. Yung iba na-experience pa yung Friendster, hindi ko nakabutan yung Facebook na gamit ko. Chrome, Net Explorer, nandito ko Net Explorer, I don't know. May mga nawawalang app, may dumarating na app. Okay? So, in 1990, kaya meron dyan ad ng hiring ng HR manager. It was the start of online job advertising. Dati kasi, kung naabutan nyo pa, lahat ng work job ads ay nasa Manila Bulletin. So, mula noong 1990, padagdag ng online ads, including Jobstreet, of course, jobsdb.com, and other job sites. Kaya, nabawasan ang job ads sa Manila Bulletin. Again, anong effect nun? Ng isang newspaper. And last but not the least, in 1992, the first BPOs in the Philippines were born. And it's now led to a very powerful, business in the Philippines, which contributing like 15 to 20% of the economy. And not only that, ang isang change pa doon ay naka-shorts yung lalaki sa harap niyo. Okay, let's go to this slide. So nakikita nyo ang pinaka-latest na iPhone ano yan? iPhone Anong number yan ng iPhone? Sinong meron ganyan? Kasi Samsung ako eh. Wala sa inyong merong ganyan.
13 po.
iPhone 13, latest ata yan. Nahirapan ako sa iPhone. And the one on the left, alam ko, kilala niyo yan. Yung nasa left, yung may pula-pula na bilog. Some of you had it, like me, I had it twice. In 2021, in 2022. Ano yung nasa left na yan with the black background? Walang sa inyo nakakaalam yan. COVID, sabi nga ni Marilyn. Tapos yung nasa right side, yung nasusunod na building, ano yan? Yes, Vidal, that's coronavirus. Ano yung building na nasusunod sa kanan? Yes, Irene, tama, COVID. Twin Tower, 9/11, sabi rin ni Vidal. Sabi rin ni John Maverick, 9/11. So ano effect? Ang epekto niyan, yung travel industry. Ayun ang reason kung bakit naghubad kayo ng sapatos, tinatanggal niyo yung belt niyo, ano pa, nilalagay niyo sa tray, pinapasok sa x-ray machine, etc. etc. So, ano yung nasa baba, yung barko na mga bahay. Anong event yan? Last but not the least, yung nasa kanan sa baba, nakasulat ng Miss ransomware. Kayo ba ina-apektuhan yun? So these are inconvenient truths. Sabi nga ni Albert that's affecting us now. So going to the next slide. Pakita nyo na lahat. These are not new. These are not new. Dati nang may cellphone. Yan. Yung binubuhat mo pa yung baterya. Yung Motorola Dynatac. Isipin nyo, mas mabigat pa yung baterya kaysa dun sa phone. May antenna. Okay? Tapos yung nasa left hand, bago nagkaroon ng coronavirus in 1918, the Spanish flu, mas maraming namatay po. Millions ang matay sa Spanish flu. Fortunately, Philippines hindi siya masyado affected dahil sa Europe and United States mostly nangyari yan. Okay? And nasa right side, LRT na sira. That's the famous Rizal Damin. So nangyari na yung terrorism before 9/11. Nasa baba, Typhoon Yolanda was in, I think, 2013. Sure that you see with the palm trees and Baha is Rojas Boulevard. And that happened in 2011, 2 years before Yolanda. May storm surge na nun. Unfortunately, we didn't learn the lesson of storm surge. And yung I love you virus, sino na apektuhan sa inyo o nag-aaral pa ba? Ano po ang gumawa niyan? Si Onel de Guzman. So, dati nang may virus. So what I'm trying to say, if we do not learn the lessons of the past, we are condemned to repeat it. Does history repeat itself? Well, not really. Circumstances do, like for example. But kung wala tayong gagawin na preventive and corrective measures for our company to be able to, kung hindi man natin avoid, mitigate natin affection, it's just like saying, pag may nangyari, bahala na. Or makes us prepare for these eventualities. Next slide, please. So, pakita nyo lahat, the bright future ahead. The use of Wi-Fi, high cost of gasoline, people using cell phones, ayaw na mag-usap, Starlink is come in, Elon Musk coming in the Philippines to revolutionize the speed of internet, MRT P7 from San Jose, Del Monte, Bulacan, all the way to North Avenue in Quezon City. Malapit na ata matas. So, millennials, problema ng power, patay na. Electric cars will also be coming in. Korean industry, I'm sure you watch Squid Games, you watch Korean novelas. And recently, the Oscars was won by a Korean. And of course, the ongoing war in Russia and Ukraine, na napakalayo ay apektado tayo. Okay. So these things affect us. So the question is, these things will affect you and more things will affect your company. Is your company preparing for that? Like this. Oh, by the way, there's new blockchain technology. So let's go to lesson 4. Next slide, please. So this is the macro application of OD and change management. What you already know. Paki-backtrack na nabasan. So strategic plan, malapit na end of the year. Yes, tuloy lang natin. Next slide, please. So, possible, should we say, option for you for determine your position, determine your strategy, build the plan, and manage your performance. Again, this is a tool that you can use if you want to. Okay. Next slide, please. Another strategic plan processes, gather facts, SWOT analysis, review inputs, strategic matrix, define strategies, review, and adjust. Okay. Next slide, please. Oh, nasa lesson 5 na tayo. Si Dave himself said, what is the future of HR? But before you go that, you must ask yourselves, meron vision, mission, values statement, meron ba kayong planning? Maganda sana twice a year. So, employee performance niyo ba align sa performance ng company? Or napakadaming above average? Performance ng company ay average lang. Next slide, please. Yeah, that's what I said. Vision, mission, values, strategic policies. Do you conduct SWOT analysis or any of the tools? Do you use balance scorecard? Do you have a profit and productivity? Is profit and productivity the only measure of company success? So, yun ng konting tip. Pakibalik lang ang slide. Kadalasan kasi alam ka natin, basta maging profitable, productivity ang company, okay na. But there is a new advocacy going on na part is yung success ng employees nila and their families. And I'm not saying on a career per se, pero kung nag-i-improve ba ang buhay ng empleyado sa isang company. Ask yourself about that. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So, ginagamit niyo ba ang HR ba may role sa business planning? O hindi kayo sinasama sa planning? Slide back. Back, please. Kung sakaling yes, what areas or aspect of the business ang pinag-usapan nyo? Is it recruitment, training, compensation fees, compensation benefits? And if no, bakit hindi? Have the solution to ensure na merong role ng HR sa strategic business plan. And what tools ang sabi ko kanina na ginagamit or baka may iba klase yung tools na ginagamit, please share it with us. Use tools, kaya siya nandun para gamitin natin. Next slide, please. So to make the organizational change smoother, this is the suggestion. Continue please, the slide. Ang tip na bibigay ko, and this came from the Harvard Business Review, is that 4 key aspects in helping employees understand change to drive the commitment and contribute to the success. Inspire people by having a compelling vision of the future. Number 2, keep employees informed, transparent, communicate regularly. Number 3, leaders and management must be empowered dahil sila ang mag-lead nito. There are very many ways to involve employees, very creative ways. Basta mas involved, hindi yung parang ikaw nagbamando lang nag-implement. That's not true. Have them very much involved in the changes. Next slide, please. Meron po bang mga questions? Meron nakalagay sa chat room, hindi ko lang napansin. Wala na. Ipa-plug ko lang po yung aking YouTube vlog. It's about World War II. Kaya po World War II because my late father was a World War II veteran. And legacy not only for him, but also for the current and future generations na malaman about World War II and how we can, for example, nag-usapan Ukraine-Russia war, pinag-uusapan ba? So I have 3 episodes right now. Yung isang episode, yung Oblique Immaculate Conception, yung isang episode, Pit, yung isang episode ay Day of Valor General's Game. Click nyo lang sa YouTube, WAW Philippines. Makikita nyo yung 3 episodes na yan sa YouTube. So if you can, please subscribe, please like, please share. It's an educational video. Maraming salamat po. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. And if you have any questions pa rin, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I hope I didn't overload you. And like I said, don't overthink first. Just absorb what you saw. You research.
We can open or unmute your mic para po syempre kung meron tayong mga question. Pero definitely Sir Jun, Sir Bong, ang dami naming natutunan this afternoon. Ako may mga dadagdag ako for the strategic planning. Syempre malapit na po ang strategic planning week na because of the last quarter of the year. Mga ka-HR, do you have any question? How about punta atin sa Facebook Live? Ay, nahiya sila.
Kinakabahan ako, baka walang natutunan, Teddy.
Nahiya ang ating mga ka-HR.
Baka na-overwhelmed.
We have a question personally, Sir Bong. Ako
Yes,
po, may
ma'am.
question. What has been the greatest obstacle in organizational development and change management in your experience?
Para sa akin, the 2 biggest obstacles are 1, walang leadership, yung very top. Some even don't find time to have strategic planning. So parang trabaho lang ng trabaho. Ganun. Ang lang yung kumbaga, yung board. walang cascading to the point na yung people down to get data first and later on uh, find root cause analysis and offer options or solutions of what to be done in the future. In short, wala silang vision of the future business will improve. Kumbaga bara-bara lang. The other naman is the other extreme end. Lack of support, lack of cooperation, and sometimes untapped attitude of the people down. Minsan nilang suportahan because there's no question on what's in it for me. Kasalanan nyo nung nag-design nung OD intervention, hindi na-explain properly do sa mga why are we doing this and how it will be affecting each of us. Parang typical question eh. Yung performance appraisal ba, magli-lead yun sa increase ko. Ayan. Similarly, yung OD change ba yan, intervention na yan, tatas ba yung sweldo ko, benepisyo ko. So yun ang mga major challenges na hindi ko lang, but many of my colleagues, in our colleagues.
And ano po yung mga best practices to overcome those two biggest challenges?
So, okay, a good question. Ang muna dyan is yung leadership ng top na, hey guys, let's have a strategic planning. Yung talagang true blue strategic planning. In the SSS, there was a first, I believe, strategic planning in the 80s na ang swerte ko dahil may training consultant na kunuha for that purpose. Tapos ako yung isa sa mga training officers na nag-assist dun sa strategic business planning. So, kasama ako sa documentation, kasama ako sa preparation, pati yung venue, food, etc. So, nakikita mo yung dynamics early on. It was my very, very first experience with planning. And as you will see later on, may kailangan pa ng data. So, bababa yun sa managers, even sometimes data gathering para ma-determine yung mga kailangan. And sometimes, doon pa lang makikita na kung anong mga problema, anong mga kulang. Mahirap kasi mahirap kasi maging over-ambitious na, gusto natin mag-double ng profit natin, but your data does not support any of that. So, I think yung pinaka-best way if the top management is gung-ho or very motivated to conduct ideally twice a year the strategic business. Twice a year. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Debbie, it's the time na for next year. Tapos pagdating ng June, July next year, i-review nyo yung ano nangyari for the last 6 months. Were you successful? What were your problems? Sabi mo nga, what is the solution to the problems that they encountered? Kung hindi nyo man na-meet yung targets nyo. O kung na-meet yung targets nyo, exhibit it. What were the good things that happened? Bakit? The next thing is the involvement of the stakeholders. Sabi ko nga, the management supervisors who will give the important information and data so that the top people will be guided accordingly.
Sir, naman po, paano naman if may mga majority companies in the Philippines are SMEs? What if they cannot afford OD intervention? What's your advice?
My advice is, bakit lahat ba ng seminar mahal? Ito nga, libre eh. Di ba? Alam nyo, if only SME, should we say, researchful enough, maraming libreng stuff out there. I worked for a very rich company before, pero believe it or not, we sometimes get our seminars for free before the internet era. Where else? From the Department of Trade and Industry. They were willing to train people on how to do things to make the business better. Yun. At saka ang daming HR hindi naniningil ng mahal. Even LGUs help. Paano kasi alam ng LGUs pag business sa lugar nila, eh siyempre, tataas yung tax nila. Maraming sources. It's just, sabi nga kanina, need to be creative in finding those. Hindi pwedeng one, yung parang parang kuan yung one tamad na naghihintay ka lang ng prutas, excuse me, na mahuhulog sa bibig mo. Even schools, you can tap the schools. You tap the OGs. Yung mga nag-aral sa magagaling na eskwela, studying very, could we say, very complex business modules in their schools. Kunin nyo sila. Sila ang pagawan nyo kung ano yung mga pwedeng ituro, mga things that you need to learn. Ganun, marami yun. Just be creative and wag na.
Thank you, Sir Bong. Thank you, Sir Bong.
Welcome.
Now, are there any other questions from our audiences? From Facebook or Zoom?
Ayan, so we have a question po, no, ma'am. Sir Bong, ayan. So you mentioned earlier po, no, that kapag hindi po sinali si HR sa strategic, what should HR do?
Parang gusto ko sabihin mag-resign. Wag naman. Miss Joy, masama yun. Bad yun, bad. The first thing you should do, like any other salesman, is present the problem. It can be problem on attendance. It can be a problem on turnover. It can be a problem on productivity. Pakita mo lahat yun. And sabihin mo sa top management, Sir, Ma'am, HR can find if only we had that. Yun, kung sasaan nyo sa we had that is kukunin yung consultant si Sir Bong. Yeah, sabay ganun, ano? Hindi. Maraming consultants yan. Kilala lahat ng consultant. And I'm sure ikaw rin, you know, consultant. One creative ways, get consultants to I'm sure hindi lahat ng HR are HR capable. Kaya nga kayo nag-a-attend ng webinars, kaya nag-a-attend ng training. If you feel you do not have reached that level that you are comfortable of providing management with enough, should we say, bala, so to speak, to lead or to take charge for that OD, kumuha kayo. Simple nga, kumuha ng consultant. Yeah. Now, kung sakaling hindi nakinig nyo, balik tayo sa una kong sinabi. Wag yung gawin yun. Just persevere. Because parang not be successful the first time. Parang gamitin natin example si yung sumulat ng Lord of the Rings. Jake, tama ba? How many times did she sell her book to publishers? O J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm sorry. Iba pala, Harry Potter pala yun. Pinaghalo ko yung dalawa. Pero the point is, how many times did they bring their to publishers and they were turned down? Even the famous franchise of the movie for them all, Star Wars, was denied by many American production houses, and only 20th Century Fox said yes to them. So hindi yung for failure nyo, ay, atras na ako. Huwag ganun. Persevere. You're welcome. You're welcome, Ma'am Joy.
Ayan, so do we have additional questions?
Okay, we have a question from our audience. I saw some raising
Kilyovi.
their hand. Si
Kilyovi.
Leonie.
Yovi.
Yovi. Please raise your hand again. Ay, napindot lang daw. Okay, Sir Bong, last question from me. I have another question. What are the most important questions to ask when managing change?
Okay, very good question. The first question is, what do you want to do? Meaning, 1 year or 5 years from now, what do you want to achieve? Okay, so that's the first one. The second question is, how are you going to do it? Is there a plan? Is there, if there's a plan, what are the resources? Sunod na yung questions after that. That, sabi nga ni Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind. So ano yung end? Once you have that, plus the plan to do that, you're actually more than 50% ahead of what you're gonna do. Huwag niyong isipin na we need something perfect. No, because like anything in this world, even the best plans are revised to fit the situation. Ikaw nag-a-adjust dun sa reality. Perfect plans na sinet for 2020, either na stop or talagang inabandon. But let's not forget, kailangan kaya nga SWOT analysis may letter of opportunity. Ano ba ang opportunities na pwedeng i-provide ng pandemic? One, of course, is yung online. Gawin natin, ay mag-meeting tayo lagi. Let's prepare for the future once COVID is controlled. Disappears. Para pag dumating na yung time na yun, handa na kayo. Hindi pa yung iisipin yung, magiging alert level 1, ano na gagawin namin? Nangunahan na kayo ng competition. You plan ahead. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, Sir Bong. Thank you.
Okay, let's go for siyempre ang ating mandatory picture taking. Pasensya na humihina ang internet ko pag nagbubukas ako ng video. Can we please open our video para po siyempre may souvenir po ang ating speaker mentor na makasama ang ating almost 100 plus participants this afternoon. At talaga ma'am, sino ang may pinakamabilis ng kamay sa ating volunteers? Because we have 7 slides sa akin. Sa laptop ko may 7 slides. How about kay Ma'am Nomi and Ma'am Jorina? Ilang slide po ang meron sa inyo?
Yes, ma'am. 17 po yung sa akin.
Okay.
Miss
Let's open our
Jorina.
video for our mandatory picture taking. Smile po.
Ayan. So, pabukas na po ng ating mga cameras. Ayan, page 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ayan. Okay. Okay, second page po tayo. Pabukas po ng ating mga cameras. Maraming salamat po. Ayan.
Wow, may kasama si Ma'am na Pusa po ba yun?
Okay. Third page po. Third page. Bukas po ng ating mga cameras. Maraming salamat. Fourth page po. Fourth page. Ayan. Fifth page. Dalawang page na lang po. Sixth page po. And one last page po tayo. Ayan. So, maraming salamat po ating mga cameras. Ma'am Neddy?
Hold lang po. Nawala yung certificate. Wait lang po. Ako nalagay. Okay. In behalf of HR Calabarzon, Ma'am Jurina, please thank our speaker mentor this afternoon.
Hello. Ay. Hello, afternoon. Present. Hold on for a second. Share my.
Jurina, go on.
Okay, there you go. HR Calabarzon Group presents certificate of appreciation to Sir Bong Aguilar for his invaluable knowledge and expertise as a resource speaker for our 60-second HRE knowledge entitled The Future of HR, Events that Development and Change Management via Zoom and 2 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. given this 20th day of August 2022. Maraming and I'm sure a lot of our audiences and participants